My Gold Award project is called Menstrual Awareness and Hygiene in India. I was born here and I grew up here, but my parents grew up in India, and because of that we visited India a lot, and we would kind of be integrated into the life of my grandparents and my cousins just for like a month or 3 weeks at a time, but then we'd return back and we'd continue our lives here in America, which was very fortunate for us. As soon as we started getting older, a little bit older, we kind of were questioning, the differences between America and India. And one way I've had kind of experiences that I think are unique are in terms of periods. I did some research and I found an Indian engineer by the name of Arunachalam Muruganantham. I had seen TED Talks, I had seen articles, and all of them spoke of the way he was revolutionizing menstrual hygiene for women in rural areas, really poor areas, remote villages that didn't have any access to sanitary pads of any kind. And this simple machine, basically what it does was it was a sustainable way to produce pads where the women were, and it doubled as a living, an income for some of the poorer women who maybe had disabilities. They could work to make these pads. I thought, this is amazing. How do I do this? How do I get involved in this? How do I be a proponent for change like this? I'm in high school. It's more about how am I supposed to contact this guy? Even if I could get the money, even if I could, find a place to put this, how would I get all the details, ironed out? Like, where am I supposed to get the money? Like, where am I supposed to put this village? Would it be received well? I was honestly really scared about that. I was the most scared that it wouldn't be received well. People would reject the idea of some foreigner coming in and preaching towards them, and that any idea of a woman being empowered would be looked down upon in the most backwards areas. I left the idea kind of in the back of my head, but it stayed there. It definitely stayed in the back of my head, and I couldn't ignore it. I would look for a different idea, something a lot more local, a lot more I guess feasible, but I couldn't really shake it. It's my family that kept me going, kept me pushing, and they pushed me to really keep researching, and they were the ones that were proposing next ideas. It wasn't me at all. It was my family that kept me inspired and kept me determined to keep going with this. I think part of being a change maker is understanding that things will not go as planned, and that change isn't easy at all. I consider myself a change maker because I think understanding that and going through with this project has really taught me those skills and taught me how to be a real change maker versus a superficial change maker. And I think the distinction between those is that action, and the way that passion can manifest into action.